Welcome back to At the Mic with Michael Schumacher, brought to you by JR's Oasis. It's more than a fuel station, more than a convenience store. It is your one-stop travel shop on Fox Sports Radio, 101.5 FM, 1570 AM, KVTK, Vermilion and Yankton. And we are talking some state track and field, talking Freeman Flyers conversation here. And if you'd be interested in being a business sponsor of these conversations, just give me a call, 605-661-5858. But we're talking with Lane McCune. Lane, how are you doing today?
Good.
Well, that is good to hear. Well, I tell you what, for people that don't know you, why don't you just take a moment to tell us a little bit about yourself, about you, your family, hobbies, interests, anything like that, and we'll just kind of go from there.
All right. I'm Lane McCune, and I'm a sophomore at Freeman, and I like to run distance, and I have 2 siblings, and I like to fish.
All right. So you like to fish, and you're in other sports, right? I mean, you like to run,
Yes.
but what else are you in?
I also do basketball.
All right. So, I'm just going to start. We'll start with you, and we're going to talk a little bit about Freeman itself. But you like to fish. Where do you like to fish? I mean, just off a shore? Do you like go boating?
Usually offshore.
Okay. All right. What do you like to catch?
Bass and catfish are pretty fun to catch, but on our little pond we have here in Freeman, it's mostly just bass and sunfish and bluegill.
All right. Sounds good. Well, and what else do you like to do with your downtime? Because obviously football and running take up quite a bit of time. But what else do you do with your downtime if you're not fishing?
I have a dog that I've had for the last 5 years, and I like to hang out with him, I guess, and do other things with my friends and hang out with my family.
All right. Sounds good. And so you do cross country in the fall and then track in the spring, right?
Yes.
All right. And so you've had yourself a pretty successful year individually, and Freeman Athletics has been pretty solid this year. How has this year been for to be part of the Freeman school system?
It's pretty awesome because I got to watch football state championships as a fan, and then in basketball we were able to go in it. And then the track season gone really well, and then cross country we were able to place, and that's been really good. It's lots of positivity, I guess, on the team, and it's been a really fun year.
Well, it really has, and it's been fun to follow. And in a town like Freeman, where, I don't want to say, but athletics is a big part of it, and the heritage, the history, the tradition of athletics. How has that been to see the community kind of rally around as you guys have there's this resurgence around athletics in Freeman?
Yeah, it's been awesome because I remember when I was a little kid, in track we were good, I guess, a little bit, but in like basketball and some of the other sports, we weren't very good there for a little while. So with all the sports, it seems like they've all been succeeding this year, and it's nice to see all the fans behind it and all these people that show up to the games. It's pretty awesome.
Well, it really is. And, you guys have that sign on Highway 81 there that has the years, and there was a bit of a gap there, but it's been fun. You guys are tossing up 2025s. You're going to be tossing up 2026s. That's got to be fun to be part of that.
Yeah, it's super fun. You're right. There was like a 10-year gap there. It wasn't going pretty well, but yeah, it's been fun to get it going these last few years.
Well, it really has. And because I tell you, I'm one that likes to watch South Dakota Public Broadcasting. They share a lot of history and stuff, especially around the state tournament time for events. But, Freeman's been a big part of that. And so, yeah, it's fun to see Freeman kind of putting itself back on the map when it comes to that. But, of course, as a sophomore, you have a few years yet. You're going to be a junior. But I'm just going to ask, have you thought about what you want to do after high school?
Yeah, for the last little bit, I was kind of thinking about being a pilot, but I guess we'll see. I got a few years to figure it out.
You do. I whenever I ask that question, somebody's like, and they almost feel like, I'm not quite sure. When I was your age, I thought I was going to be an attorney. Well, if I were an attorney, you're probably not talking to me on the phone. So it did not work out like I'd originally planned. So you've got plenty of time. And so, so that is awesome. Well, it's been a fun season. Now, let me just ask, with all of the success that Freeman has had and success that you've had running, were you expecting this kind of success, or have you guys exceeded expectations?
I feel like team-wise, going into it with how all the other sports had gone, everyone was kind of, we're going to do good in track, and had been excited for it. And this winter, I'd been running a bunch, and even with basketball, I'd been able to get a lot of training in, and I feel like I had a pretty good winter run. So, I kind of thought I'd be able to be at least somewhere around where I am now.
All right. Now, here's always the key question. Did you get your athletic ability from your mom, from your dad, or did it skip a generation to land with you?
I have no clue. None of. I mean, my mom did a little bit of distance, and then my dad did some sprints, but none of them were really much of. None of them did cross country or anything. But I guess my dad was a pretty good basketball player. I think.
Okay.
So it was probably from my dad.
All right, we'll say that. I always like to say my daughter got her athletic ability from both her mom and myself. We had none. She got none. So count your blessings that you got some. It's a good time. Well, that is great. And so. We're going to talk some track and field because you've had, again, quite a season. But are you okay answering some icebreakers?
Sure.
All right. I've got the tried and true. One final meal. What are you going to have?
One final meal. I think I'd have some sushi.
All right, sushi. Now, do you have a specific place you'd go to or somebody that makes it? Or
probably go to the Tokyo restaurant in Yankton.
They've got some good stuff. I had a friend take me there, and I just said, you go ahead and order. I don't know anything about it. Everything we had was amazing. And so I loved it. Now, do you go with the wasabi? Yeah. Do you put ginger on it? Or do you just kind of go with the sushi?
I just kind of go plain usually. I mean, I guess I'll do some what's that sauce called? Yeah, I don't know. It's usually just plain.
Okay. No, and that's the thing, too. A lot of it is good plain. The first time I had it, I messed up, and I didn't realize what wasabi was or the kick that it had. I put more on than I should have, so a bit of a sinus clear, but it wasn't too bad. But it's so overpowering sometimes it overpowers the taste of the sushi. So.
One time we were at Hy-Vee or something, and we got sushi from there, and my sister thought it was guacamole, and she had to drink a lot of water after that.
That's what I thought it was. I'm like, well, man, they're only giving me a little bit, so I'm just going to load up on this piece, and it was. It did not go great. So
pretty strong.
It is. I feel her pain. So all right. Okay, now if you could see any three musical artists from throughout history, so living or dead, live in concert, who would you want it to be?
I don't really listen to music. That's an interesting question. I have to think about that one.
Really? You don't really listen to music?
No, I don't really, I guess.
All right. Do you listen to podcasts or watch TV or movies or anything? Or
I guess if we were talking movies and I could watch anyone, the first time it came out, I'd probably watch some of the Star Wars movies. I'm big on that.
Okay. All right. Star Wars. I like that. Now, are you one of those, do you like the earlier ones, which are technically later in the series, but the first ones that came out? Do you like some of the stuff that's come out later? Or do you like the offshoot series that have, or standalone movies like a Rogue One or something like that?
Or I really liked Rogue One. Rogue One is really good. But if I had to choose between the new ones that came out 2015, other than Rogue One, I'd go with the earlier ones. I'm not a big fan of the newer ones, but the older ones I really like.
I think the older
ones.
And
then some of the new shows are pretty good too.
Yeah, I think the new shows are pretty good. Yeah, that stuff that came out, I feel like they relied too much on the special effects and the CGI and less on the writing and the story.
Yeah, and very much.
Yeah, I feel like the older stuff was, well, especially given what we know now as far as special effects, you're like, oh, it's kind of fun to watch. But it feels like the story and the writing was a lot stronger there. So, no,
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with you completely. All right, excellent. Now, if you could travel back to one point in the Earth's history and be guaranteed safe return one time, to when are you traveling and why?
Huh. I'll have to think about that one. I'm kind of a big history guy when it comes to wars and stuff.
Okay.
It would be kind of interesting to see, when they're obviously, let me think. I guess I'd just probably go back to the time when my parents in high school, just kind of see what they were like at my age.
All right. I have to assume they're probably around my age. I mean, my daughter's a little bit older than you, but yeah, I think seeing us back then, and if you got to see them, then you come back, you could call them on some of their stuff too. You're like, was it really like this? I like that. Okay, perfect. Now, for this one, assume all of your basic life needs are met. So you have guaranteed basic levels of food, shelter, clothing, and transportation. And if a cell phone's important, you have a phone as well. Money is no object, but you can only buy one thing. What would that be?
Can only buy one thing.
Yep, but money is no object.
A dog.
A dog, okay.
I'd buy a dog.
What kind would you get?
I'd probably get what my dog is already. He's a Saint Bernard and a poodle. I'd probably get a Bernedoodle.
Oh,
That's probably what it'd be.
did you a Saint Bernard and a how does that
Or
work?
sorry, Bernese Mountain Dog and a poodle. Bernese Mountain Dog, not a Saint Bernard.
Okay, Bernese, that dog's big, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty big dog, but
And a poodle's not. Boy, how does that work? So what? So it has the size of kind of a Burmese mountain dog, but what traits? No, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just kind of trying to picture it. So what traits are dominant from which species?
Well, he is a mini, and he's more poodle because his dad was a Bernedoodle, and then his mom was a poodle, I think is how it was.
Oh.
So even though he's a mini, he's still got some of the size. He's like 50, 60-ish pounds. But he definitely has the curls of the poodle. Like when his hair's long, it's very curly, and even when it's short, it's curly too, I guess. But he's definitely got the thick hair of the Bernese Mountain Dog, but then he's kind of got the tail of the poodle and some of the curliness.
That is awesome. All right, I love that. I'm just trying to picture it in my head. That is so cool. All right,
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, finally, as you go through life, who is someone or are some people that you hold up as examples and say, man, if I can live life like him or her, I'm going to consider myself a success?
I guess I got some pretty good teammates that I look up to. If you want to go off seniors on the team, Luke Peters had someone I kind of look up to, I guess. That's kind of how he acts and carries himself, and he's just a pretty good dude, I feel like. And in other ways, I guess my dad, too. There's ways I want to be like him, and my mom and some qualities, too.
All right. Well, that is great. And if you can have your best examples close to home and close to your team and stuff, that makes life a little bit easier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. I love that. Well, you did great on the icebreakers. You willing to talk a little track and field before I let you go?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So you are heading to state in 3 events, if I'm correct. 800, 1600, 4. What's the
4 by 8.
You're in a relay. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I apologize. The list
No problem.
doesn't give names on that, but okay, excellent. So you're participating in 4 events. My thought process is, so you have the 800, the 1600, the 3200, and the relay. Do you ever have to, because it's state, it's kind of that one final gasp there. Do you worry about running all of those, or about how you have to pace yourself, or the way you have to try to do a rest recovery in between?
Yeah. I'm actually kind of excited for state more in the reason of how much recovery we get, because in usual meets, I'll either run like an 800 a mile and a 2 miles in 5 hours. In state, it's spread across 3 days, and I only do one event each day except for the 2 mile and the open 8 that one day. And I'm in the 2 miles first, and that's the one I'm ranked higher up in, so it's a good order, I feel like. I think the amount of separation between the days is pretty good, because in regular track meet, it's you're on this, you get like an hour break, and then you got to do another one, and then another one.
I hadn't thought about it that way. I'm as unathletic as they come, so these aren't things I honestly think about, but that's great. So are you thinking maybe with that rest and recovery and that kind of time, that maybe you're looking at potential for maybe setting a PR?
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping to PR in all of them, I guess. The 800, I ran it in relays at the beginning of the year, and I think I did it 2 open times. But then late in the season, we're getting to the last 2 meets. I hadn't done since Howard Wood, and I was like, I kind of want to run the open 8 at state for the first time. So we did like 2 meets, and then 2 meets, and they're like back-to-back 2 days apart, and I dropped like 3 seconds. So hoping I can keep dropping some time off in that state. And then in the 2 mile, I have not had a race this year where I've been able to run that fresh, because it's always at the end of the meet. So that one I'm hoping for a huge PR in. And then in the miles, I don't know, just coming into it, so one race a day, just give it my all and see what I can do. I feel like I can get a PR in there too.
Well, that would be amazing. No, obviously the 1600 and the 3200, those oftentimes go hand in hand, distance running. Yeah. The 800 is kind of the one that's unique and it's kind of the unicorn of running, because it's a distance for sprinters, but it's a bit of a sprint for the distance runners. How do you treat the 800? Sure. How do you treat the 800 versus when you're doing a mile or 2?
The mile and 2 mile, usually in my PR races or races where I run good, the second half is faster than the first half. But then you get to the 800, and it's, like you said, it's a bit of a sprint for me. So that one, I just try to go out pretty hard the first lap, and then like 300 to go, I try to start kicking it in, and that last 200 really just go with it and see if I can do. I think in the race in, forgot where it was Bridgewater at the end of the year, and I went out in like 61, 62, and closed like a 65. So that one's a lot different. You don't want to go out too hard and die, but you also want to get out in that one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's going to be interesting. And let me say, put yourself a week out, a week from today, where you've had a chance to do the state meet. You've had a few days to kind of decompress and review. What would you like to be able to say about your performance at the state meet?
I would like to say I just ran my hardest and would like to be able to come away with some PRs, but if I run hard and I end up dying or something, but I gave it my best, I could care less, I guess.
All right. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Well, Luke, I know you're busy. I know you've got better things to do than talk with me, but thank you so much for talking with me. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing how you guys do it, how you do, and the team does in both boys and girls. You guys are sending a solid contingent, so it's going to be fun to follow Freeman Athletics. And you've got a couple of years left. I'm hoping we'll get a chance to talk again if you're not sick of me yet.
No, not at all. That'd be awesome if I could do this again next year or something.
All right. Sounds great. We'll plan on it. So thank you so much. Best of luck, and you have yourself a great rest of your day, okay?
Thanks, you too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Lane McCune. God, I hope I didn't say Luke. I had this thing up here, and I saw Luke Miller. I saw Luke Peters. I hope I didn't say Luke McCune. It's Lane McCune, and if I didn't say that, I am so sorry. But in the 800, the 1600, the 3200, and the 4x8, a lot of running. A lot more running than I've ever done. But he's got some great times. And you look at that 1600 and the 3200, the 800 might be his weakest, and that's a stretch to even say that. Not weak at all, but maybe weakest, because his distances are really, really strong. Your top 10, top 15. So he has a real chance at bringing home some points for the Flyers, as do a number of these athletes. So exciting times ahead for Freeman Track and Field, and we'll keep you up to date on how everyone is doing, not only for Freeman, but Alcester, Hudson, Irene, Wakanda, Beersford, Vermilion, Elk Point, Jefferson. We'll keep you up to date. You just listen here on Fox Sports Radio. I'll try to keep updating the daily sports that airs both here and Classic Hits as time goes on and we get results. But if you'd be interested as a business in sponsoring these Freeman Flyer conversations, I'd love to talk with you, because I'd be talking about you right now. I'd be like, Little Sally Sunshine's Sundry Store by the seashore sells seashells. And you'd be like, well, that's not the name of my business, so that doesn't help me. But it'd actually be your business, I'd be saying. And then we'd run an ad for you. And then when these go up on YouTube, on At the Mic with Michael Schumacher, for people to watch, I'd put your logo on there, and we'd have that. We'd have your ad and the intro, outro with that as well. So if you'd be interested in being a part of that, I will definitely make it worth your while. This is At the Mic. Just give me a call, 605-661-5858. This is At the Mic with Michael Schumacher on Fox Sports Radio, brought to you by JR's Oasis. We'll be back.